Hi, my name is Aman and I am one of the founders of Pintel.ai. So let me give you a quick walkthrough of Pintel in this video. Just sharing my screen. Just a second. Yeah. So this is the agenda for this video. The first is I'll go take you through a case study walkthrough, then how we are different from the competition, product demonstration, future product roadmap, and finally our extensive data coverage, right? So let's first start with the case study. So this is the case study of an enterprise SaaS company with 80 million plus ARR who managed to free up like around 55% of the user bandwidth with GenAI driven prospecting. So what was first the challenge they were facing? It was simply the manual grind of prospecting. The BD process was manually intensive and time consuming. Why? Because there were repetitive manual tasks. Users used to spend a significant portion of the week on non-selling activities. And why was that? Because they would have had to spend a lot of time on account research, prospect list building, and prospect level research. And overall, if you assume like on an average, a BDR would like have 7 to 9 accounts every month. So overall, they would spend like around 80 to 90 hours per month, which is kind of 50% of the bandwidth of the BDR. Now, the problem was since there was so much manual effort, the scalability was limited in this, and it would also take up a lot of BDR time. The solution was implemented intelligent automation with Pintel. And how they did that? Basically, they automated the research engine, automatically research accounts and prospects using internal and external data. So company had their own custom research signals, questions, and all of that, which they managed to get using Pintel at scale for both accounts and prospects. And then finally, they pushed it to their respective tools. Overall, as a result, right now at that company, we are managed to free up like 55 to 60% of the bandwidth per BDR. Also, not just BD teams, even in other teams, there's a rapid cross-functional adoption which is happening. And yeah, so we are expanding in this account in short. Also, just to give you an idea, like for example, as you can see, like this is how the Pintel product looks. It's like a spreadsheet UI. Every row is a prospect over here. And for this company, like I mean, first one of the use cases they did was to kind of segment prospects based on like non-core or core, right? It had its own definition. Then in core, like core application, which kind of subcluster applications could be there. Now, based on that, they also push the data on their outreach platform, or similarly, it can happen on a sales loft or somewhere else for segmenting the audience, right? So that they can create different persona segments and reach out to them. As you can see, these are the things which are pushed by Pintel, like L&D non-core, sales CRM non-core. So these are the different custom personas which they created. Similarly, on outreach, they also pushed in a custom field called talking points or email triggers, or you can also create AI emails using Pintel, right? So whatever you want to do, you can like kind of push it on outreach. So the end user doesn't have to come on Pintel directly, or it can also happen in a CRM. Also, like how are we different from the competition? So very straightforward, right? The current problem is, so one is, I mean, like in most of the companies, there's poor data quality and steep learning curve, which is eventually leading to customer churn, right? The customer is being unhappy. And the main reason for that is one is they have a generic AI agent and like they have just hell lot of use cases, broad use cases, right? Which because of which the data quality is poor. So our solution is pretty straightforward. We are building use case based AI agents, and also the end user doesn't have to directly consume, the spreadsheet cells. Instead of that, we are also coming up with GTM visualizations, and we are also pushing the data directly in the tools which can be used by the end users, right? All of this leads to like high data quality and faster user adoption. Also giving an idea like this is how the GTM visuals will come in the future. So like a BDR doesn't have to go through lots of heaps of data of Excel. They can just go through this, like for example, for account prioritization, automatically based on the logic they have created for priority one, priority two, priority three, they would be able to see certain accounts. They can click a particular account and then a sidebar can come. Similarly, it can happen for prospect prioritization like priority one, two, three. Again, you can also rename this. So all of this is like based on your own custom business logic, and you can get prospects for the different priority levels at a BDR level over here. And so which makes it very easy for them to go through and to navigate through different prospects or accounts, right? So just let me first also take you through how the product looks, right? So, so here's how the product looks. So for account research and prioritization, so for one of the companies, like based on industry, employee strength, and whatever, right? We populated a certain list of accounts on the first column, which you can see. Now these are the details they needed, right, for that. So they had their own custom signals. So for example, they wanted to know if the product launch is happening quickly or not, right? When did the last product launch happened? How frequent are their engineering product releases? So based on that, they created the tier one, tier two filters, right? And we also gave the reasoning, like what it means by a tier one filter. Like, so for example, if we read it for this account, the only confirmed product launch with confidence score is for this, right? As you can see, and it falls within last 6 month range. So that's why it falls under tier one. So this is the business logic created for that company. Similarly, they also had their own sub-industry definitions, like which company SaaS, which company services, which companies. So it was there based on their definition, and we also gave the reasoning. So we scraped it from their company's website, right, accounts website. Also, they wanted to know if the company had mobile offerings or not, and how many downloads had happened in those mobile offerings, right? Similarly, they wanted to know technographic fitment as well. Now they had their own definition. So this company was targeting QA folks. So for them, like if a company had like Selenium or an Appium, right? So it would fall into tier one. So again, this kind of information happened, right? Similarly, industry relevance and all of that, right? Even the QA team size count. And finally, based on that, prospect priority relevance came up, like P1, what is P2, right? And we also gave the reasoning for that. And again, all of this information could be pushed on anyone's like Salesforce, Outreach, Salesloft, or a similar platform, right? And we can also fetch more information from a demand base or an RB2B to basically gather more signals and to add it in the priority score. Similarly, for one company, we also did prospect research and prioritization. This company was also like kind of targeting data science, data engineering folks, right? Again, we got a list of like first was to get the raw list of people based on their titles, location, and all of that. Then second, what we did is we scraped their entire LinkedIn profile of these people, right? First name, last name, summary, all of this stuff, right? And on top of this, we applied AI, right, to find if the prospect was relevant or not. By the way, we also fetched their last 50 LinkedIn posts, and based on that, like certain by certain business logic, you can see don't seem to be relevant, might be relevant for different prospects, right? And you can also see what's the reasoning like. And also, let's go through like one of the prompts over here. So if I go to edit enrichment, you can see how the prompt definition looks like, right? You can give your own classification buckets, should be relevant, might be relevant, or it could be P1, P2, P3, or something else, right? Then they said like for a particular seniority level, it would be should be relevant. Then a person can have these all keywords for to be should be relevant, or person might have mentioned in their summary or in their work experience that the person is working in lakehouse modernization, LLM ops, real-time data intelligence, and all of that stuff, right? And based on that, as you can see, like different outputs have come, right? Like seniority level, keywords, like they also wanted to see if they belong to any particular functional domain. So which again for this, based on this, they could do persona wise segmentation and all of that, right? Then any particular work related areas they had mentioned, right? So again, as you can see, using Pintel, you can do account research and prioritization, prospect research and prioritization, and push it to your internal systems so that the user adoption is higher, right? And one more thing you can do using Pintel is also you can like tap into the LinkedIn post audience of the people, so you can automatically from your competitors or your influencers, you can gather their information, like people who have reacted to their posts, and tap into their audience as well. And lastly, in this demo, uh, just also showing you like a extensive data coverage. And this is not limited to this, but so like you can source intel from any public information on the internet. It could be account, website, job description, Glassdoor, annual reports, press releases, and more. Then your current tech stack, ABM tools such as demand basic sense or more, RB2B, CRMs. We also have an API connector. So via API connector, if any of your tech tool has an API, so based on that, we can fetch data from that or push data into that. Also internal training documents if they are stored on G drives, PDF, CSVs or more. And you can also scrape websites or help docs. So yeah, so thank you so much for listening to this video.